Hey Libra, what's up? Thank you for joining me on my channel today. We are going to do a spread for you for the month of April 2019. It's a general reading. The messages may not resonate with all of you, and that's totally okay. Feel free to check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs for additional or extra messages. What else do I need to tell you? I've already meditated on your cards. We'll do a little more shuffling. But yeah, this is meant to be fun, inspiring, uplifting, motivating. So only take away positive messages for your highest good, right? Oops. All right, cool. So, Two of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, the World, Six of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Fool, the High Priestess, and is that the Ten of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. All right, so let's do this. The bottom of the deck for you is going to be the Wheel of Fortune. We'll go over that at the end once we compare the bottom of the clarifying deck, all right? So same for this, it's already been shuffled, but I will give it a few more. Oops, you got poppers already. All right. This channel is getting up and running, so if you like what you see, please give a like, share, subscribe, comment. Anything would help me and would totally make my day. And I hope this resonates for you. I hope it's helpful. So at the heart of your matter, you have the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. Cups, love, emotion, happiness, right? Kind of the dream come true. And the Two of Pentacles, so that is earth and water. Water, earth. Two of Pentacles frequently has to do with decision making. Can sometimes be money, it can be with your home, your health. Let's find out. What clarifiers can we get for the Nine of Cups and the Two of Pentacles? So is your wish to build something steady? Then you have the Four of Swords. That is the resting card. She's kind of meditating in this one, if you can see that. What else can we get? So maybe you're thinking about what your ultimate wish is, perhaps. Maybe you're slowly building your way towards something that is your wish fulfillment. The Nine of Swords. Interesting. Anxiety. So yeah, maybe it's a decision you're not rushing into. The Two of Pentacles can sometimes be kind of like they call the juggler card. He has two pentacles in his hand and he's going back and forth. Depictions of the Two of Pentacles can differ. Sometimes he's more of like a joker gesture, playing with things in life. It's more of a lighter energy. Other times it's stressing him out. He can't keep two balls up in the air at once, right? So he does have to make a decision and either let one fall and hold the other, or, you know, whatever the decision may be. So with your anxiety card, I'm getting that this is actually more of a decision, more so than a building, right? And I said the building because the pentacles are stacked on each other. That's where that came from. Interesting. All right. I'm going to take one more for this and then we'll move on. We'll see. Why do you have anxiety? What are you juggling with the Nine of Cups? Is there something preventing you from reaching your Nine of Cups? And if there's something preventing you, it seems like it's more mental than it is like a physical barrier, but we'll see what the cards say. Six of Wands. Interesting. So that is a solid foundation. It's sometimes a victory card. Typically it's a knight riding through like a parade and everybody's looking up at him in awe and amazement, right? Usually there's a lot of pride, a lot of self-respect. It's like you've proven to yourself that you can overcome battles that you didn't think you could. But it's a six, right? So it's still in the middle of the journey, right? Maybe your wish fulfillment involves children. And I'm wondering too if Oh, there's noises outside. I hope that's not going to irritate this video. We'll see. I'm wondering if your wish fulfillment involves children, and maybe you're worried that if you're juggling something, is it your ability to have children? Is that the anxiety? Is it not having a partner in your life to have children with? Potentially. I'm only jumping to the children scenario because of that card, but it could be something else. I'm going to move on a little bit and see what we can get. Up for your root cause, you have the world. So that's perfect balance and harmony, right? It's the completion of a cycle. It's the last card in the major arcana. It represents the 4 fixed signs in the corner. So it's a coming together of all. It's a coming together of the universe, the zodiac, the people in your life. And then kind of this wreath, right? Completion of cycles, circles. You're starting something else out. What can we get for that? So this is sometimes your unconscious influence of what's impacting that. So a cycle, and then interesting. You have the Empress here, typically shown pregnant, right? She's got she's holding her belly there. Yeah. So she's Mother Earth. She can also be a very creative person, but it's maternal energy for sure. Taurus and I think Libra actually is represented by the Empress. Yeah, I'm still kind of getting that children vibe. You want the world. You want your family. You want completion. You want wholeness. And I'm getting that might involve family. I think you see yourself as the Empress. I don't know if that's how you're feeling, but maybe that's your wish fulfillment. Even with the 2 pentacles, I'm getting like 2 bodies, like husband, wife, maybe. Or even babies, twins. There are two children here, right? What else can we get for the world? More children. Reciprocity. Equal give and take. So what you're giving back, you're receiving. There's also a scale in the back there. Very, very appropriate for the Libra spread, right? I'm going to take one more. The Magician, yeah, manifestation, what you're creating. And these cards both deal with creation, but they're a little bit different. This is like internal creation because it's manifestation. It's almost taking your exterior tools, right, that are on your table or on your pillars, wherever you are. And there's like a channeling within from spirit. It's like that spark of creativity, almost the idea there. The High Priestess is technically the idea. So this is like just before that comes into play. It's manifesting. This is actual creation. Literally, like babies, nature. The creation of the world, of the universe. Interesting. I don't know why this came to mind, but when I looked at this Magician card, also it's feminine, right? Interesting. Not typically shown as the Magician in a more feminine depiction anyway, but gender doesn't really matter here. But I don't know why this isn't even depicted on the card, but I'm just getting something about like medical procedures. If you are struggling to get pregnant, maybe you're trying like in vitro or something like that. That's going to be for a really small percentage of you, but so that's the underlying cause. And even with her tools, there is balance on each side with reciprocity. And even this card of the world, she's not quite naked, but she's almost naked, and they're sort of like bare, almost in the way like if you were to have an operation or a procedure done, they'd put you in kind of like those weird paper gowns, right, at the doctor or the hospital. Even if you're just going in for tests and they're doing like the ultrasound on your tummy or something. I'm going to try and come up with another scenario for those who are not involved in pregnancy or children or something like that, but that's speaking very, very strong to me. All right, so let's go to your past. What can we get for Libra's past? We have the Six of Swords, so that's moving on from something. Typically it's depicted you're shown moving on in a boat with your mental baggage, right? But it's not necessarily it's things you've gotten over or dealt with appropriately. It's things you've figured out because you're moving on with the lessons. So they may have been heavy lessons to learn, but it's forward movement, it's forward progression. Sixes are typically more harmonious cards. Ace of Swords, okay. So you might be cutting something out of your life, or you may have a new idea that is bringing you in a new direction. A communication that has come forward. Let's find out. It is in nature too. Interesting depiction. It's kind of like an interesting merge of this energy with the children and then like nature with that little bunny rabbit down there. It's kind of, it reminds me of those cards a lot. Cutting. Did you have your tubes tied? I don't know. Let's see here. What else can we get? Okay. Knight of Swords. It's Gemini energy. So the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck. Some people think it's the Knight of Wands, and to each his own. But to me, swords are logic, they're communication, so it's like our thoughts can move faster than fire can spread. Our thoughts can go rapid like that. So rapid movement is clarifying this Six of Wands. I'm sorry, Six of Swords, which again is movement forward again. All of this has to do with thoughts and logic. It's all sword energy. Sword energy is very, it's not typically super emotional energy. It can be a little bit cold. Doesn't have to be, but it's based in logic. It's not based in emotion. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Sixes is the Aquarius card, I believe. The Six of Swords. Gemini Knight, and the Ace of Swords is like, yeah, it's a new idea, it's a new inception of a thought. Inception. Interesting. You have the Ten of Swords, a mental battle. It's a death of sorts from thoughts that have been weighing on you. Yeah, there's some heavy energy about thoughts that I think you're trying to cut out. And even this, I'm still getting like operation of some kind. And this could be communication to somebody involving this, if it is an operation, your doctor, your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, your family, telling them that you might literally be going like under the knife. Possible. It's your past. It can also sometimes be called the unresolved factor. So it's possible that if you did have some surgery of some kind, you're maybe still awaiting to see if something took or if something worked, or interesting. I'm gonna pull one more. So much sword energy there. It's kind of, wow, death. Okay. Transformation. All right. I don't typically see the death card as a literal death. However, just given some of the energy that's already on the board, I'm going to leave that open-ended. I'm not, because it's in the past, we tend not to need to clarify the past a lot because you know your past, right? There's nothing I can tell you that you don't already really know about your past in general. So, and again, this depiction of death is a little bit dark. It may have been a miscarriage. Yeah, I don't want to linger on that too much. But you have a mental death and in some ways a literal death. That's the card of Scorpio. It could have been someone who passed away and you're having to communicate that and literally kind of move on from it, right? But this is a fast movement on, so I'm not sure if that's what it is. This could be clarifying more the person it was or is, or again, Gemini energy there, or possibly Scorpio. Interesting. All right. Next, you have the Five of Cups. So this tends to be sadness, despair, depression. Typically, this is depicted as 3 cups have been spilled over, representing emotions, happiness. So emotions that have been disappointing, that have not worked out, that have left us empty, right? But in the depiction of the Five of Cups, the person has only noticed the spilt cups. They're not realizing that there's two other ones that are still full up, right? Let's see what we can get for that. So it is a hopeful card, but it is suggesting that you or someone in your energy is not completely able to walk away to reconcile past hurt or pain or sorrow. You're not quite ready to open yourself up to new opportunities yet. So this section, it can be your goals or your purpose. It can be a belief you have. Solid foundation, Four of Wands. Sometimes people think it's like the 1111 card, something that's divinely guided, twin flame. I said twins earlier too with those pentacles, didn't I? And there is that 1111 symbolism there. I don't necessarily think it's so much a soulmate in terms of a romantic partner. Interesting. I was talking about how in the Five of Cups, the Three of Cups are usually spilled. Here they're up. See that? There's 3 cups there and they're upright. I'm almost getting that, again, I'm trying to be very sensitive here, but if there was a miscarriage of some kind, it's almost like, obviously that would be extremely traumatizing and just really heavy, really like depressing, sad energy for anybody in that situation. But I'm almost getting this really hopeful message, and maybe it is because it's in your attitudes and beliefs. There is a part of you that does understand, or that when a soul passes in the physical world, that's not the end. There's something more. And I'm sort of getting this idea that this is like a depiction you have of what heaven might look like. So if you did lose a child, perhaps the Three of Cups that have spilled in this scenario for you that's really sad, they're not sad because they're in some other like physical realm, still happy and living a good life. And this is like the 1111, it's almost like you guys, your souls are forever entwined, like you'll meet in another life. Ooh, I'm actually getting a little bit emotional about it. And I mean, it is the cups, right? So that might land for some of you. Ooh, that's some heavy energy though. So, ooh, I'm sending you hugs, Libra, if that's your story. It is, the Four of Wands can be a card of celebration because wands are passionate. It's things we love, but I definitely think that there's an intertwining of love and passion, right? And that's exactly what that is with the Five of Cups. And also maybe it's hopeful of a baby shower. If you haven't lost a child, but you've lost this idea that maybe you can have children, or it's almost like you believe that there might be a second chance for something, or even if you already have a child, this is like the other one setting up for their younger sibling to come in. Yeah, Two of Swords. I don't get this as decision making at all. With so much of the sword energy, with your mind, with your logic, with your thoughts, she has a blindfold on, so what she believes has nothing to do with what she sees. It has to do with what she feels intuitively with that moon. All this water emotion here, right? The cups that we were talking about earlier. I think it's clarifying what all this was. This sadness, but this hope within sadness. I think it's saying that deep down you know the truth here. And it's a heavy truth, right? You're holding these really heavy swords and it's hard to maintain. And I feel that like it weighs heavily on your heart, but there's some peace in it too. There's some peace that comes because of the way you've because of the way you're able to see it without seeing it, if that makes sense, with the blindfold. You're able to feel it in your heart, in your intuition. I believe the Two of Swords is a Libra card too. And I am seeing threes here. Like with the 5, the 3 cups are typically spilled. We have the 3 glasses on the Wands card. You even have the 3 rocks back there. I'm not sure if threes mean anything to you guys, but 3 is the number of the Empress, right? Pregnant. This, I'm just going to go with this because it's just calling out to me and it seems to be making sense. So if this isn't your story, that's totally fine. Maybe check your sun, moon, rising if this isn't resonating. But let's see what else we can get for this, because I feel like this is an important message that maybe somebody needs to hear. So for your future, you have the Fool. This is starting a new beginning. It's much more of a lighthearted energy than what you have going on here. He's about to jump off the cliff, but it's in a good way because he trusts that he'll be able to find his footing, to find his landing. The sun is shining. He doesn't have a lot packed. He's just kind of ready to go. He's enjoying like the beauty of life, the way he's looking at that pure white rose. It's untainted. He's like untouched. He or she. There's innocence here, and it's not the Fool in the sense of logic. It's the Fool in the sense of maybe a little bit naive, but it's like just lighthearted energy. Yeah, let me keep going and see what we can get. What can we get for the Fool, please? Clarify the Fool for Libra. And this is what's approaching. Okay. 5 of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. A test of your faith. I think you might be walking away from that, potentially, because this sounds like it was a huge test of your faith. 7 of Swords. So this card has come up a few times, and I always point out this person's carrying 3 swords, representative of heartbreak, right? The 3 of Swords, it's pain, it's heartbreak. The 2 in the back is a decision they've made, right? The 2 of Swords, which you had here. And then 4 on the wall, there's no longer like resting going on. You also have the 4 of Swords, which showed a more meditative state. Interesting. So this is moving on. Sometimes I say that because she has this sword and it's pointing down, there's something about this energy that isn't fully based in great logic. I don't know about that yet. I'm going to hold off before I dig too deeply into that. Something about this darkness, this cave, these tunnels, it kind of has that like symbolism of like the womb. I don't know what that is though. I don't know who that person existing in the womb would be, because it doesn't have like an innocent child energy to it. Let's keep going. Oh, it is sometimes the liar, cheater, thief card, the 7 of Swords. And it might be that you feel left out in the cold because you got cheated. You got cheated out of something that was yours. It did sort of feel like someone lied to you, right? If you thought that you were bringing a child into the world and that somehow didn't come together, or it did but something went wrong post-pregnancy, right? And yeah, there's anger here, there's sadness, there's a lot of emotion here, right? And with the church behind her, that light shining out, it is showing it's a test of your faith. The 5 is an imbalance, right? It's not the 4, it's not the 6. 5s are challenging cards, absolutely. But it's like once you realize that you aren't alone, that you have people that you can turn to, metaphorically you have this church behind you, right? So whoever that church is in your life, whoever you can go to for support, for spiritual guidance, for whatever, it's like once you turn around and recognize that, it's going to be easier to it's going to be easier to manage this imbalance. But yeah, I think this energy that's kind of leaving you feeling out in the cold comes from this past place of feeling cheated. That's what I think that is, because it's such a dark energy. I don't think it's you. And it's a dark mental energy. It's, yeah, ooh, Libra, I feel like you've been put through the ringer recently. Whew. Okay. But the good news is that I think that's what you're moving away from in the future. And I can't really say how far in the future this is. I wouldn't want to say for sure. Tarot doesn't really give us clear timelines to begin with, but I mean, who's to say when you're going to heal from something? That's such a personal thing. And yeah, that just crosses a boundary for me as a reader. So with the Fool energy though, you're holding this beautiful white flower. Let's see what this Fool is headed towards. Let's get one more clarifier for the Fool. One more for the Fool. What can we get? What is he headed towards? Interesting. He's headed towards the Two of Pentacles. That was in your original cross, was the Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. It's like adding one more to the mix. It's Pentacles can be finances, but it can also be health, like things to do with the home, even with the family. It's, you know, Cups are emotions, but and this is a very light-hearted Two of Pentacles. It's not those rocky ocean waves that are like, you know, weighing so heavily you have to put one of the pentacles down. This person's enjoying the juggle. It's like, I don't just have one, I have two, and I have multiple paths I can take. Lighthearted energy, very much. Okay. That is optimistic. Very optimistic. You're starting to rebuild, is what I'm getting for that. All right, so the you position is the High Priestess. That's intuitive inner knowing with the moon down there. Somebody else has gotten these cards too. I don't remember who. It may have been Leo. But these cards remind me of each other. It just the way they're dressed, the way they're sat, they're being influenced by the moon. There's this blue energy. This is sometimes the card of Pisces or Cancer. And she sits in balance. She has light energy and she has dark energy. And oh my goodness, have you had a lot of dark energy, Libra? But the fact that you are balanced, you are sat between dark and light, that's very reassuring to me. And even if you're not feeling that quite yet, this is you. Whether it's you in the now or you in the future, you are going to be sat comfortably, knowing that there is balance in your life. Again, like Libra, balance. There's scale, and there's faith there too. Whatever that is to you, it doesn't have to be God, the universe, whatever faith is to you, that's represented in this card. It's like something or someone helped pull you through. And maybe that's just a best friend or a husband, or there is loss here. I know I was focusing so much on the child energy. If it wasn't a child, it could have been someone else who maybe was just very innocent and sweet. It could have been a pet. It's possible. What I'm questioning is your original spread. You have the Two of Pentacles and the wish fulfillment. I'm wondering if the wish fulfillment is being able to try again and go after what it was that you lost to. But I don't know. I'm not going to stick with that just yet. What can we get for the High Priestess, please? Clarify the High Priestess for Libra. The High Priestess is not about action. She sits and she knows. She's in tune with the universe. She intuitively figures out what she needs. You got the High Priestess clarified by the High Priestess. I love that. Very different depictions of it, right? It's funny, when I first got this deck, for some reason, every time I would look at it, I always thought this was the Empress, and then I would see the two, and I'd be like, oh wait, no, it's the High Priestess. But the way she's sitting on her knees like that, it's like her knees are kind of when you pull your dress over and kind of sit like that. Her knees do that, and it looks like a pregnant belly to me when you look at it really quickly. I gotta say it if I see it. It might not be the children aspect for all of you, but and yeah, even the way that like this beautiful green light, these little almost like fireflies are coming down, it's very spiritual. Like she's getting messages, or she's at least meditating, which was one of your cards in the beginning. There's water here, there's emotion. Even with the leaves, it's like there's earth, like Mother Earth. It has a very earthy quality to it. So the high priestess clarified by what looks to be a pregnant high priestess, which is a very interesting dichotomy, but she's out in earth though too. Yeah, channeling, meditating, resting. Wow, more resting. Hangman energy. So this is a card where you take a step back to really look at the situation from a different perspective. Her legs make that 4, right? Searching for a stable foundation, something solid. And with this depiction of the hangman, I'm sorry my camera doesn't focus too well. I always say there's something about her energy that looks like she's about to give up. It looks like she's either sleeping or she's just so exhausted. Some other depictions, the hangman's looking straight ahead. In this, it's, yeah, there is a bit of a sadder energy. I'm just going to say that. What comes right before this, card 12, is 11, Justice, the Scales, Libra. That's your card. So it's like you're moving into this energy, and after the 12 comes death, right? Transformation. So maybe it's you transforming. Maybe you are in this kind of sad, lingering energy. And even if it's not sad, it's just, it's almost like you're trying your best to find healing, to make peace with the situation. And I think intuitively you know it's not your time to go out into the world yet. You got to recuperate a little bit. Yeah, something has got to be sacrificed, or I'm not sure. One more for the High Priestess, please. So you have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is, let's see, I believe is it Capricorn? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, yeah. So Capricorn, or I'm sorry, Pentacles again are Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Pentacles, money, house, home, job, career. There's also a bunny in this card, so I'm getting that this is the same person at different stages in their life, perhaps. Right, with the rabbit right there. There's something about earth here, about nature. I think you are finding your self-confidence again. Because whatever this was, in a way, broke you, right? Maybe you're journaling, maybe you're doing some sort of like writing exercises to kind of get out that negative thoughts. It's like therapy in a way. It's like it's healing. Maybe you're going to see a counselor. Maybe that's who this is. Maybe you're going to see a marriage counselor, or a family therapist, or something like that. That might be you. I'm not sure. I think you are seeking seclusion, though. I don't think you are looking to be around a lot of people right now. That's what I'm getting. So surrounding you is the Ten of Wands, a very heavy burden. So this can be in your environment, absolutely, or how people see you. So maybe people are seeing you as very heavily burdened because of everything that's happened. What can we get for the Ten of Wands, please? Two of Cups. Who you choose to love, who you exchange cups with. Cups are emotions, investments. It can sometimes be intuition. The burden of like a lost opportunity. of a connection that, well, it was a connection, but it's a burden. Okay, so if in the past you and your significant other, you know, whatever, you may have gotten engaged, you got married and decided you were going to have children, this is almost like a younger representation of the love you guys once had. But because of the circumstances of some loss or something that happened, this, even maintaining this relationship, if this wasn't the person you lost, but if it was, you know, take it as it resonates, this relationship has become burdensome to the point where now you're in an older, more mature energy and you're by yourself. See how there's trees in both of these? I'm getting like this is the younger version of this person. It doesn't have to be female. But yeah, I'm getting time. Like a passing of time. Yeah. So again, if this Two of Cups is symbolic of someone you may have lost in your life, it's become a burden, or if you're trying to maintain relationships and act like you're happy and that you can give emotions out and maintain like this this appearance that everything is okay, that's become a burden, because clearly it's not. Clearly some things are a little bit out of balance here. I do see this in your futures being so optimistic, because this person is juggling, but they're balancing at the same time. It's like a balancing act they're putting on, which is great Libra energy. So let's see. Other people are seeing you as burdened because of a loss of a loved one, perhaps. Other people are feeling burdened, I think, because of the same thing, quite frankly. So King of Wands. Someone who's very passionate, someone who is very creative, very loving. The King of Fire. Very, just the life of the party, but also works very hard, charismatic. I am getting that this is like a partner, whether it's a husband or a wife. This is like a very cold version of the King of Cups to me. Just the way it looks like a she to me in this depiction. The way she's seated in her robe, it's very... She doesn't have that like crazy fiery cloak on, or she's not raising her staff up. It's very like church-like. It's very contained. It doesn't really feel like wand energy or fire, but it is. In this deck it is. So it's a very controlled fire. It's almost like you've lost a passion, if it is with this person. There's writing here too. What are you writing, Libra? What are you composing? Again, it could be that therapist energy, because this is the outside of what's surrounding you, how people are viewing the situation. This very much feels like a therapist, and maybe she's asking you to go ahead and journal your thoughts. One interpretation, right? That it might not be that, but yeah. This person is just, it has a very cold energy to it. This King of Wands. It's the card of Leo, I believe. I don't know if that means anything to you, but... Alright. So, your guidance. The Seven of Pentacles. That is assessment. It's looking at the seeds you've planted and wondering if they're going to grow. It can also be fear or uncertainty about the future. Yeah, possibly with this person, this your partner potentially, or continuing on without someone who meant a lot to you, a lost loved one. What can we get for the Seven of Pentacles, please? The Page of Swords. So pages are newer energies. I've heard pages referred to as like the freshmen in college, like they're starting off a new beginning with a little bit of knowledge. They have a little foundation, but they have a long way to go. So you are interesting. Again, with writing and documents, maybe you're going through somebody's old documents, you're clearing out a house. You might be moving. I don't know about that. I'm gonna get another card. There is still a lot of mental energy, mental distress, the way that one sword is kind of, it's just like hanging there. It could drop anytime, right? And injure her and hurt her. I'm getting that it's like you're dangling by a thread. I think you're trying to go on, but there is this fear about the future. It's, yeah, I'm even getting like you're trying to hold it together and dress up nice and pretend like I'm okay, yep, nope, things are good. Like you almost, but even this, it's like cold. It's like when people come up and they're asking, oh, are you okay, Libra? Is there anything? Like you don't even really want to talk about it. You're like, yep, I'm fine. Like yep, it's good, it's fine. And then maybe when you are alone, maybe that's when you kind of, you break down and maybe you do get emotional thinking about the future, worrying about what's going to happen. I'm almost getting you're writing a letter to someone who has passed. Maybe you're writing not the speech, the eulogy or something, the words you're going to say, just the way that the candles here. It's like you need to be in solace to do this. You don't want to be alone and distracted by other people. But it's communication of some kind, and even the way the light's coming in, it's very spiritual, it's very heavenly. It's like someone is watching over this person, right? If it was a partner who passed and they maybe had more of a childlike energy, maybe this is kind of like the legal stuff you're going over. But why is that in your guidance? Maybe you are worried about future, the future growth of money, future income. It can also be like your hopes and fears section. I've heard that too. What can we get for guidance? Because yeah, I don't want to leave you with vagueness there. What can we get for guidance for Libra, please, with the Seven of Pence and the Page of Swords? The Page of Swords can sometimes be a spy card, and by that I mean digging up more information. Not in a catty or like icky sort of way, but maybe you're, like I said, maybe you're uncovering old documents in a house, or you learned something. Guidance, please, for Libra. What can we get for guidance? The Tower. Yeah, whatever happened completely was earth-shattering. It shook up your world. It's like everything changed, and it almost feels like in a split second. In a split second. I don't know why that just kind of... And this is how you're feeling, right? It's not a good energy. It's not happy. I feel like a rainstorm just swept right through you. But the silver lining to the Tower is that it allows room for things to grow again. And that's essentially what the Seven of Pentacles is, right? Once this kind of landscape or whatever is just whoosh, like it's gone. It's no longer thriving. Mother Earth has been upset in some way. Then you have to replant. You have to harvest. There has to be more growth. Seven of Pentacles is someone who stands over their garden, and I think he's like holding his rake, looking over, wondering what is the future going to hold. Will I have enough money? Will I have enough crops? Will I have enough people in my life to support me? So I do get that there is going to be rebuilding despite what has happened, because I think this is how you're feeling, but this is how you're appearing, if that makes sense. All right. Anything else for the guidance, please? Guidance for Libra. Yeah, there's still anxiety here. The only way out of your anxiety about the future, I think maybe you're worried this could happen again, I'm getting from that card. It's like you have to let it out, like therapeutically, you have to get these ideas out on paper. If you are writing a letter to like a past loved one, that's sort of what I'm getting with this. Because all of this emotion is not shown in this spread through cups. It's shown with swords, which is very interesting because swords are not, it's like you're holding back emotions. Swords generally, it's very logical. It's, and I'm not saying you're at all illogical. That's not what I was getting at. I'm not phrasing it correctly, but all this concern you have is based in love, but you're trying to maintain this cold. You're not letting your emotions show. You're trying to come off as more of an air energy, which you are, Libra. That is in your nature, but Libras are actually very warm, kind, gentle, loving people. It's just like if you could only get out of the swords and be in the sun. If you could take off your blindfold and see that you don't have to be trapped here forever. If you could just walk towards the sun. Yeah. If you could put down your burdens that came up earlier, right? What's surrounding you. If you could put down your burdens and look optimistically to the future. That's your guidance. It may have felt like in the past you worked so hard to build this castle, and then this castle metaphorically was taken away from you. It's almost like this castle was beautiful once, but it's in the past, so there's no point in looking back on it. And I know that sounds harsh. I don't mean it to be, but your guidance is to look forward and to look forward optimistically. The grass is still green, right? Even after the tower, this soil is fertile. You can still grow new flowers. You can still grow new babies or whatever lands for you there. Your outcome is the Ace of Swords. So that is something new that is fiery, passionate, creative, travel, career. That's a good energy for your outcome. It's like some other spark is burst, and yeah, there's light there, right? Like I was saying, if you could just go to that sun, this feels like warmth. It even looks like a torch, this ace, right? Like it's gonna set on fire, and it's gonna be this beautiful light that guides you. What can we get for clarification? Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles. That's Virgo energy. It's moving slowly, and I think it's to rebuild. It's like clutching, still maybe clutching onto something from your past, but accepting that the only way to heal is to move forward. Even though it's very wintry and it's chilly and the ground has not yet thawed. It's still frozen. You're not quite ready to plant the seed yet. That's okay, because warmth is coming, right? If it's seasonal change, it's like spring. Summer is coming, even though you're feeling left out in the cold, right? You have that five of Pentacles somewhere here. Even though you felt left out in the cold, you felt cheated, you felt lied to, there is warmth coming. And maybe that comes in the form of a person who offers you compassion and warmth that you haven't experienced during this. Maybe you find some passion that can channel this sadness into creative energy, and you make some sort of beautiful art. Let's see what else we can get. Yeah, this new creative passion, this Ace of Wands, has to do with really beautiful energy. It's love. You have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is very skilled in his emotions. The King of Cups is the king of love, right? So there's not only love coming for you when you get on your horse as the Knight of Pentacles to ride towards stability, to feeling more solid. There's not only that feeling of being more solid, of movement forward, of moving towards the light, away from the past. There's so much love. There's so much happiness waiting for you. The King of Cups is also very intuitive, so you might just be feeling that this is what's to come, but it's almost like you do have to, perhaps, okay, you may have to fool yourself into putting on that, not fool yourself that there is a new start, there is new beginnings, because I think you already intuitively know that. It's like putting on the face for yourself. I'm not saying that correctly, but it has to do with optimism. It's like putting on a good face. And it has nothing to do with performing for those around you. If you're sad, be sad. Let your emotions out. It's confidence in yourself. It's faith in yourself that you're going to land on your feet. Even if you question it at sometimes, it's channeling the Fool energy to force yourself to believe that you got this. That's the best I can explain it. But yeah, there's something about a need to get up and get dressed and get out of bed, that type of thing. Like, even though sometimes it seems like, well, what's the point? There is a point to it. Psychologically, all these swords you have in your spread, there's a point to it. And I think in your initial spread, the Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups, I do think it is rebuilding. I think it is rebuilding. Joining stability again with someone else who offers you really beautiful, maybe divine love. And I think that is your wish fulfillment, is just to feel love again. There's so much lack of emotion in Cups here. Well, I shouldn't say lack of emotion. There's lack of expressing your emotions. That's exactly what it is. I think it's bottled up. And then it's like an explosion of sorrow, almost like the Tower. But your outcome is very positive. It's movement forward towards something more passionate that offers great emotional stability. Okay? So the bottom of your deck is the Queen of Wands. So I always notice here there's a mask at the bottom, right? She's taken off the mask. It's like you no longer feel like you have to pretend that you're not feeling things. You can still be a Libra and have all the emotions in the world. Take on that water sign energy, if you will, right? You had Scorpio energy at the end with the King of Cups. But it's like you know your inner truth now. You have more clarity and logic. Maybe just about presenting yourself as you are, or maybe you were feeling self-conscious or ashamed or something about your grieving process. And it's almost like when you come to that, when you let it out, there's something about this restrained emotion. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, either the ending or the beginning of cycles. It can also be good luck. It's something that's divinely guided. And whatever's divinely guided, it has to do with this King of Cups. It could certainly be a person, but it doesn't have to be. It could be symbolically something that is just full up of happiness and love. Okay? Yeah. All right, Libra. That is what I have for you. I hope that was helpful. This was by far the heaviest spread I've had so far, so sending you so much love, so much hugs, and yeah, I think don't be afraid to reach out to the people in your life, because people like to help people. People like to care and show that they want to help you and they want to love you. So that would be my guidance to you. Yeah. And yeah, if this heavy energy that I was picking up on does strike true, then yeah, I'm sending you so much love, Libra. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your April. I hope things are starting to look up emotionally. And check out more videos that I'm going to post in May, and we'll see what we can get for you during that month, okay? Bye, Libra.